Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the CCAMPIS Fall 2019 orientation. We're going to be discussing some really important policies and procedures and just important dates. And so I'm very thankful that you're listening to this video. If you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to myself, Rebecca Collins. I am the project director for CCAMPIS, or Zoe Messenger. She is our educational services coordinator, and our contact information will be at the end of this video. So as always, we like to always include some sort of funny meme related to parenting. And so this one says, me, you will not dump your dinner on the floor. And the toddler says, don't believe me, just watch. So I don't know if you've experienced that, but I've experienced that as a parent, and so you're not alone. So tonight we're going to be discussing some important policies and expectations. We're paying very close attention to payments, gap coverage. That's been a very big question that I've received. We're also going to go over our schedule of events, some important dates, and then discuss our parent points. So first and foremost, the child care absence policy is just very important that you adhere to this. Basically, if your child is out 3 or more days, you need to supply us with some sort of documentation, whether it's a doctor's note, an email. We just need to know if your child is going to be out sick. With our program, we do look at attendance. So every month your daycare will fill out an invoice and they report your child's attendance to us. So if we see that there's a pattern where maybe half of the month the child is not attending, we will cancel services because it looks like the student doesn't need the services. If your child is out sick, sometimes the daycare still charges us for that week. So we have to be able to document to our accounting department that we can, still cover that week because it's holding the spot because the child was out sick. Some daycares offer vacation weeks. A few of our schools do. And so the parent is able to take a week. Sometimes schools offer even 2 weeks. Basically, it's a free week for you. So if your daycare offers that and you decide that you want to use a vacation week, you need to let us know so that when we receive the childcare invoice, we can basically make sure that the vacation week coincides with what the daycare is reporting to us on their invoice. Something else too that we need to pay attention to in our policy is how you remain in compliance with the program. The first way to remain in compliance is completing this parent orientation. So by you listening to this video, you're remaining in compliance. The second compliance matter is submitting your midterm review. So about midway through the term, you'll receive an email from either myself or Zoe basically stating that you have to bring your midterm form. It'll be attached in the email, but you should have received a midterm review form when you did your intake. But at any rate, that form has to be taken to your instructor to be signed, and it has to be returned to us. If that form is not received, you fall out of compliance, which means that you can lose your daycare services. Finally, making your payments. We do look to see that you're making your payments timely and consistently, and I'll go over that in a moment. But balances are due by Wednesday, December 11th. That's the last day of fall 2019 classes. If we do not receive a payment or there's no payment arrangement in place, a hold will be placed on your account on Friday the 13th, and I'll get more into that in a second. So in terms of payment options, you have 2 options. The first option is the financial aid repayment agreement, and that is a form that you fill out. On the form, you basically tell the student accounts department to deduct whatever amount you write on that form from your financial aid. And so that form is due to our office Thursday, August 29th. You'll want to get that turned in so that we can get it submitted to student accounts in a timely manner. It's very important that you monitor your own account through your My Daytona State portal. Once the form is submitted, student accounts, they will create a charge, and you should be able to see that charge. It'll say something like CCAMPIS. And so you just want to pay attention to that. I would also be paying attention to your refund. So once your tuition and books have come out, you should be able to see how much remaining aid you have. So you can kind of do the math yourself. If you have, $600 left in remaining aid and you put $300 on your CCAMPIS, then you should get a refund back of $300. Now, if you get the full $600 back, that could be a sign that student accounts didn't pull your CCAMPIS balance. So we try to monitor it in-house as well, but I encourage you to be looking at your account if you decide to go this route, to make sure that everything matches up. We have had students, unfortunately, in the past where the CCAMPIS balance did not come out of their financial aid as it should have, and so we've had to go back and try to collect that money from the student. So just kind of help us out and be aware. If you see something that doesn't look right, feel free to reach out to me or Zoe. Now, if you decide not to go the financial aid route, the other route is self-paying, and that's where you would need to make your payments to the Office of Student Accounts. You can make your payments at any campus location. You can pay in person, and if you do pay in person, you'll need to bring your CCAMPIS payment card that you received. When you did your intake, you'll need to bring that in along with a photo ID. You could also pay over the phone. The student accounts phone number is 386-506-3024. We do not accept online payments. So if you try to make a payment online, it's not going to go to our CCAMPIS account. It'll go to maybe a balance that you owe with the college, but it will not cover your CCAMPIS. So please do not try to make payments online. One thing I'll point out to you is that student accounts, they just take our payments. They don't know how much your balance is, how much your weekly rate is. So if you ever have questions about that, please feel free to give our office a call. I also want to tell you that your payments, they don't go towards administrative costs or salaries or office supplies. The payments that you make, they actually go into a child care account, and we use that child care account to cover your child care expenses. So really, it's important that you make those payments. If there is no payments on file, there's a couple of steps that we take in order to collect payment. The first is we contact you by phone and or email, and we just kind of say, hey, you have a balance, or we haven't received any payments. When might you be able to come in? The second resort that we go through is sending a message directly through the daycare. So we just leave a note with the daycare saying, listen, can you tell the parent that they need to reach out to us as soon as possible. The third and final route is that if we don't hear from you at all, we will suspend your services. A hold will be placed on your account, and that hold basically prevents you from registering, receiving transcripts, and so it's a hold that you don't want on your account. If this step is taken, you'll be ineligible for CCAMPIS scholarships, and then depending on the end date, you'll go back to being fully responsible for the full cost of your child care. So my biggest message to you is communicate with us. If for some reason you're falling behind, the great thing about us is you can set up your payment arrangements as you wish. You can pay weekly, monthly, bi-weekly. Some of our students pay half in the beginning of the term and then the other half at the end. But as long as you're in communication with us, we won't stop your services or put a hold on your account. But if we don't hear from you, that's when we'll take those measures. Another important talking point is gap coverage. So there is a 5-week gap between fall 2019 and spring 2020. So fall classes end December 11th but then spring classes don't begin until January 21st. Typically, CCAMPIS, we do not cover those gaps. Like when the college is closed, typically that is your responsibility. So I just want to reiterate that gap coverage is not automatic or guaranteed. Now, we may run into a case where we have extra funding for fall. And if that's the case, if we do have the funding available, then we could potentially cover that gap between semesters so that you don't lose a spot at your daycare facility. To qualify, again, it's based on available program funds. So if we have enough money in the budget to cover gaps, we will offer that assistance. You must be in compliance. So again, have you completed the parent orientation? Did you turn in your midterm review? Those are things that we're going to look for. We're also going to look for your balance to see if your balance is at least 75% paid. So is a student maintaining payments? If you're not meeting these requirements, then we will not offer you gap coverage. And also, too, we have to see that you're enrolled for the next semester. So you've got to be enrolled for spring classes, and we have to see that you're going to be returning. So about November 13th, we will have an idea as to how much monies we'll have remaining for fall. So November 13th, an email will go out, and it will only go out to eligible students. So we will scan our student list, see who qualifies for gap coverage based on the requirements that I just mentioned. If you do receive an email that you're eligible for gap coverage, you'll need to sign a new payment agreement, and that payment agreement will basically extend your services out. So it'll cover that period between December 16th through, I believe it's the week before January 20th, but you'll need to sign a new funding agreement. You'll still be responsible for your copay during that time frame, but basically you'll need to sign that new agreement, get it back to our office by Tuesday, November 19th, and then we will notify your daycare by November 22nd. I will tell you, the worst case scenario is that you'll be responsible for daycare costs during that break. I encourage you to look at your childcare policies based on your daycare, because some daycares require notice. So let's say worst case scenario, we can't cover the gap and you're not going to be able to keep your child enrolled at the school. Please make sure that you're giving the daycare enough notice. Some daycares require 2 weeks notice. So you want to make sure that you just don't, at December 11th, say, I'm not coming back. You want to give your daycare enough notice. Some daycares may actually work with you, so you may want to have a conversation with them. I've had a few students who've told me that their daycare has agreed to hold a spot for them. So, when they do return to spring classes, they don't have to worry about losing their spot. So you definitely just want to maintain communication with your daycare. And of course, we'll maintain communication with you. All right, so back to the midterm review. The midterm review is going to be completed the week of October 28th through the 31st. And so what you'll need to do is, again, you're going to take that midterm review form that you receive, and you're going to have your instructors sign it. Those are for face-to-face classes. If you're taking an online class, what you'll need to do is print out a screenshot of your grades for documentation purposes, even if there are no grades available. I realize some instructors, they don't post grades, but we still have to have a timestamp that we reviewed or at least attempted to review your grades during the midterm time. So you'll get the form to us. You'll also need to schedule a quick 5-minute check-in basically with us, and that's where we go over the midterm review with you. We review your grades, if there's any services that you might need, such as trio tutoring or academic advising or something along that line. We'll make a recommendation, or we may not make a recommendation at all, but basically you'll need to make sure that you get that form turned in to us. If you're taking a fall A or fall B class, about midway through the term, I would say at least 2 to 3 weeks into the term, you're going to want to have your instructor sign off on your midterm form, and you'll do the same thing. You'll want to get that turned into us. I cannot stress enough that this form is mandatory and you'll need to get it turned in. Failure to turn it in will result in your services being suspended. This semester we have some really exciting CCAMPIS events for you. I want to draw some attention to a few. So September 12th, we're having our parent pit stop. It is from noon to 2 p.m. It'll be held in the Center for Women and Men, which is building 300, room 227 at the Daytona campus. This one is really special because we're going to be making busy books for kids. Basically, busy books are little books that have different activities. Some have counting, some have shapes, but what's really special about this is we're also going to make busy books to donate to Project Warm. It is a program in the community that helps women who are recovering. Basically, it helps them to get their lives back in order, and it also helps them to be reconnected with their children. And so we're trying to do something to support that initiative. And so if you attend this parent pit stop, this one is worth 100 parent points, which I'll talk about later. But we do have other activities. October 10th, we're having another parent pit stop where we'll be doing Halloween masks. October 12th is the college-wide homecoming tailgate party. That's something that DSC puts on, and basically it's free. There's food, games, giveaways, and it's on a Saturday, which is great. So if you come out to the campus, it's near our soccer field. We're gonna be offering trick-or-treat activities for the kids, so I really encourage you to come out to that. November 14th, we're doing another parent pit stop. Again, these are quick minute stop-ins. You can come in anytime between noon and 2 p.m. and we'll be doing games and a thanks a lot trail mix. And then finally, December 5th, that's our last event for the semester. Between 3 to 5, you can come in with your kids, and we do crafts and cookies where we basically have some sort of holiday themed craft, and then we decorate sugar cookies. So just really encouraging you to consider attending these events. They're worth parent points, which again, we'll get to that. And it's just fun for you and for your children. Again, just a reminder of some important dates. October 28th through the 31st is midterm review week. So that is, again, your period where you're going to either have that midterm review form filled out by your instructor, and or you're going to email grades if you're taking an online course. November 28th through the 29th, the college is closed, for Thanksgiving. Usually this doesn't impact you in terms of daycare because most daycares are closed during that time, but we just wanted to remind you that the college is closed. December 11th, all payments are due, and if you have not paid off your balance or made some sort of arrangement with us, if that's necessary, then December 13th we will be placing holds on your account if there is a past due balance. So I've mentioned throughout this presentation about parent points. Now, there's certain activities that you can do, and we'll discuss those activities in a second, but with the parent points, you have to earn at least 500 points. Once you accumulate 500 points, you're eligible to apply for our CCAMPIS scholarship. Now, I do have to let you know that as with any scholarship, submission of an application does not guarantee funding. What happens is once you accumulate 500 points and you turn in a short essay, your name is recommended to our foundation department. Now, the foundation takes a look at a couple of things. They look at your unmet need, which means that they partner with the financial aid department. They look at whether you're eligible for a scholarship, and then of course if there are funds available. So the deadline for our CCAMPIS scholarship for the fall is Thursday, December 5th. Again, you're going to need to fill out a point sheet form, which you should receive by email. And so you're just going to want to keep track of the points that you accumulate. You'll want to attach a short essay to that point sheet. If you have less than 500 points, you will not be considered. So you need to make at least 500 or more points. And I will tell you this, there's so many scholarships that we offer. So let's say maybe for the fall term, we're only able to award 4 students. So we rank our applications by the most points. We also look for students who have not received a scholarship in the past. And we also do read the essay. So keep that in mind. Just because you're required to achieve 500 points, don't stop there. Try to achieve as many points as you can, because it could make the difference between whether or not you're recommended. On the Parent Points Tracker form, there's different categories and areas that you can earn points. So starting with the first, you can earn 100 points for completing this orientation, whether you do it online or in person. Once you complete this orientation, you can give yourself 100 points. You also can earn 50 points for turning in your midterm review, but the key to that is it has to be on time. So if you turn your midterm review in after the October 28th to the 31st deadline, you will not earn 50 points. So you need to turn it in on time. You can earn 100 points for attending and participating in our September Parent Pit Stop. Again, that's a really big deal because we're going to be donating to Project Warm, which again helps moms who are recovering basically be reunited with their children, and they're just basically trying to make a change in their life. So we want to be able to make some busy books for them and their kids. You can also earn 100 points for attending the homecoming event, that tailgate party that's on the Saturday, October 12th. And if you're going to attend to that event, we will be having a table there. Zoe and I will more than likely be there. So you'll want to either just show your face. We'll probably have a sign-in sheet, and we can give you 100 points then for attending that event. You can also earn 25 points for completing the online workshops. To get to the online workshops, you'll need to visit the DaytonaState.edu website. On the third column, there should be a link that says Child Care Assistance. That takes you directly to our CCAMPIS page. And if you click on the little drop down at the top, it should have different options like our application, our provider list, but there should be an option for workshops. If you click on that link, it'll take you to a page that has different online workshop opportunities that you can complete. You can do up to 3 workshops, and so you can earn up to 75 points just for doing the online workshops. You can earn 10 points for self-reporting your study time or your tutoring time, so there's a max of 10 times between both of those. If you don't use a tutor, you can just basically give yourself up to 10 times credit for studying. So this is stuff that you self-report. In those boxes, you're just going to want to put down the date that you studied, and then you'll just initial. You can earn 10 points for accessing a community resource, and this is every time. So for a max of 5 times, if you access a resource such as WIC or Healthy Start, or Resources for Women, or you participate in some sort of parenting group, that's a good way for you to earn points for accessing a community resource. The resource has to benefit you as a parent, and so yeah, you just definitely want to make sure that that resource is something that's of benefit to you and your family. You can also earn 10 points when you access a college resource. So there's many resources available on campus, such as career services. Of course, there's a Center for Women and Men. We do a lot here in the center. In addition to CCAMPIS, we have a clothing closet. If you need business attire, we have a free closet that you can access. We have clothes, shoes, accessories for both women and men. We also give out bag lunches every day. It usually comes with a water, some sort of ravioli or macaroni and cheese, trail mix, and applesauce or some sort of fruit, and that's all free. Then we also have like smaller snacks like crackers that you can come in and just take. So when you're on the go, you don't go hungry. We do free printing here in the center, so we can print up to 10 pages for free. We're the only resource on campus that does that. So there's just some great resources. We also have a program called New Directions. And so that is for students who are enrolled in AS degrees, such as nursing, or basically those career-focused degrees. So if you're in an AA degree code, unfortunately, you wouldn't be eligible for New Directions. But if you're in an AS or a vocational program, you might want to see if New Directions can help. It covers things like uniforms, books, supplies, even childcare. That's another resource that New Directions covers. So if for some reason we can assist you with CCAMPIS, or you might need additional childcare resources, New Directions is an option for you. So basically, accessing a resource on campus can earn you points. Other point opportunities are parent pit stops. They're usually 30 points each. So please adhere to our calendar. You can earn 25 points for attending a family or community event. This could be something like Port Orange Family Days, or in November, the Volusia County Fair is coming up. So really any event in the community that really supports family time and bonding, you can count that. That's something that you just self-report on your form. 5 points. You can earn 5 points for family bonding time. So that's things like, just doing something with your kids. Maybe it's cooking, maybe it's reading, or going to the beach, or doing homework together. So you can earn 5 points for a maximum of 25 points. And that's just stuff that you self-report. Again, you're going to write down your date and then just initial it. Finally, you can earn 10 points each time that you come in to see me or Zoe, and that's a maximum of 2 times. We do ask that in September you can just kind of walk in, but up until September you'll need to schedule an appointment because this is our peak time. But anytime after September, if you just wanted to pop in and let us know how you're doing and to answer any questions, you're more than welcome to do that, and we will give you credit for that. So we thank you for completing our parent orientation. Our contact information can be found here. If you ever have any questions regarding your balance, or just in general, maybe there's something going on at the daycare, or even something here at the school that you need assistance with, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we look forward to assisting you. Thank you so much.